Hey guys, it's Sarah. Thank you so much for watching. So today I wanted to share with you my version of a video that I believe was started by Jen Loves Reviews, who I love. She recently did a video called 20 best products from 20 brands in 20 minutes. And a lot of other people have kind of done their take on this. I wanted to do kind of a shorter version, 5 best and worst products from 5 brands in, we'll see if I can do this in 5 minutes. I might just leave out the minutes. I have a smaller collection than Jen does, so I don't have 20 brands that I've tried a ton of products from, but I did go through my list of my makeup inventory to see which brands I own the most products from. So I'm gonna be talking about 5 different brands today, and you can probably already guess which brands I own the most from. The first brand that I'll go ahead and start off with is e.l.f. I think I own 15 products from e.l.f. and that is the brand from which I own the most products. I wanted to share both my favorite and least favorite product that I own from each of the brands I'm talking about. So the favorite product from e.l.f., so I actually couldn't pick just one, but I'm just gonna say overall is eyeshadows. And there was a time when I would have been really surprised by that answer from myself because I never really used to think of e.l.f. as a brand that I loved for their eyeshadows. But one of my favorites is a palette, the other one is a single. So the palette is the e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today. The shades I'm wearing are actually all matte shades. I have Fresh, I kind of started out my crease with Fresh. Then I threw a little bit of Sassy in the crease. And then I put Cheeky all over the lid. That's actually one of my eyeshadow roulette shades for the month. A little bit of Saucy, which is this kind of like peachy matte color. And then the other thing I have on my lid is also from e.l.f. But it's actually my least favorite from e.l.f. So we'll talk about that in a second. But this palette is one of my favorites, if not my favorite in my collection. It's very unique. There are so many different directions you could go with this palette. The idea of it is because it's opposites attract, so this side is warm tones and this side is cool tones. And I really honestly don't own a ton of cool tones, so I love having this whole section right here. It has this like beautiful, like true gray color. Love this deep forest green. I love the like really deep kind of silvery taupey shimmer. And then I also love the warm tone side. I usually do go for warm tones, but I love having the option to do cool tones as well. And I just love this palette. Now, if I could only own one palette, I don't think I would choose this one because it doesn't really have enough like light shimmery shades, which those types of shades are also my jam. But I just love the variety of this palette. The quality is amazing. They actually just released another palette in this line called, I think it's called Earth and Ocean. Same style and format and everything, and it's like a blue and green palette. Ooh, that palette looks so pretty. I am so tempted to buy it. I don't think it's even been released yet, but I think it's releasing later this month. And based on how much I love this palette, I feel like I will not be disappointed by that one either. Already been filming for 5 minutes. There's no way this is gonna be under 5 minutes. And then the other eyeshadow is a single that I feel like they might be discontinuing this. I don't know. I've always wished that they would expand the range of shades for this eyeshadow, but this is the long-lasting Lustrous eyeshadow, specifically in the shade Soiree. I have loved this for so long. You can see it's very well loved. I really should try to use it up. It's been in a project pan in the past, and I'm thinking about putting it back in my project pan. We'll see. But it's gorgeous, like mauve, burgundy, metallic shadow. It's kind of cross between a gel and a cream shadow. I would say it's probably similar to those, you know, those L'Oreal Infallible single shadows that used to be really popular. I feel like it's similar to that. It's almost like it's a cream shadow for sure, but it almost is a little powdery too. I can't really explain it, but kind of like that. It's kind of similar to the ColourPop Super Shock shadows too. But either way, it is gorgeous. Not only do I love the shade, I also just love the formula. I like wearing this kind of as just like a one shadow look too. Yeah, they only make a handful of shades of these. They also have a gold one that I actually used up a couple years ago, and they're just so gorgeous. Even though I don't normally like or recommend like single shadows that are in like their own packaging like this, these are an exception for me. I just love them so much, and they're only like $3 a piece. I just wish they'd make more shades, that's all. That's my only Only wish. Those are my favorites from e.l.f. My least favorite from e.l.f. are a couple of eyeliners. These are their Stardust glitter liners. I'm actually wearing the one in the shade Shimmering Gold on my lid, and it is really pretty, don't get me wrong. I do use these pretty frequently. The only thing is I just wish they were more opaque, because this time I used it more as like a glitter topper, which for that I like it, but they're advertising these as an eyeliner, and when I do use them as an eyeliner, I like doing like a glittery winged liner on the upper lash line, but I have to build it up so much to even get it to really look like a solid line. So I just wish that these were more opaque. I'm not saying they're a bad product. I didn't really have anything from e.l.f. that I absolutely hated or think is a total dud, but these, I just wish they were a little bit more opaque is all. But they are really pretty as like a glitter topper. The next brand that I own the most products from is actually Jordana, and my collection of Jordana is actually about to grow even more because I just placed another order on their website. I'm planning to do like a best and worst of Jordana video, but currently from what I have from them, my absolute favorite, this is probably no surprise, is their Sculpt and Go Creamy Contour Stick, specifically in the shade Light. I haven't tried any of the other shades. I think it comes in 3 shades, so like light, medium, and deep. But this light shade is just the perfect cool toned contour color for me, and it blends out beautifully. I am wearing it today. I like to not draw it on directly onto my skin. I like to first put it on a brush or a sponge, usually a brush, and then blend it out. It blends perfectly that way, but it is hard to blend when you draw it directly on, which really isn't that surprising to me. But I just love this product. It's mostly because I just love the tone. It's very hard to find a true cool toned contour product like this from the drugstore. So this is one of those hidden gems. I feel like Jordana as a brand is just a hidden gem, and that's why I want to do a video focusing on this brand as a whole, but this is probably my favorite product from them that I've discovered so far. I also love their lip liners. I love their Take Cover concealer, but this is the standout one for me. And then my least favorite from Jordana is this, I'm also wearing this today, the Prime No Pores Pore Refining Face Primer. It just doesn't really do anything, and it smells really strong like glue. And it kind of just looks like glue too. It's just like this white color. And I guess it's it feels a little bit moisturizing, but I don't really feel like it does all that much. Honestly, I could do without it. I just don't. Primers in general, I don't have any like true holy grail primers that I feel like I absolutely need, but this one is just not anything that special, and I think it's like $6, which is kind of steep for Jordana, and you don't even get a full ounce of product. So I would just skip this one unless you know that you like this type of primer. It says it's a pore refining face primer. I don't feel like it actually blurs my pores or anything, so not really a fan of that. That's my least favorite that I've tried from them so far. Okay, the next brand that I own the most products from is Covergirl, and okay, this was pretty easy for me to decide. My favorite product from Covergirl that I've tried so far is the Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. This is what I'm wearing in my brows today. I love this brow pencil. There's just something about, I think the main reason why I love it so much is because the color is just right for me. I also love the consistency of the pencil itself. It's not too stiff, but it's also not too creamy. So it just glides into my brows perfectly without depositing too much product, but it's still pretty quick to work with because it's at least, I don't feel like I have to go over and over and over like with some brow pencils. Like for example, I feel like it's a little bit creamier than like the NYX Micro Brow or the ABH Brow Wiz, at least from my memory. I can't compare it side by side because I don't have those right now, but I just love this brow pencil. The only thing is it only comes in I think 4 shades. I feel like I always have a good brow day when I wear this, so big fan of that brow pencil. That is my favorite from Covergirl. My least favorite from Covergirl is actually their blush. This is their Cheekers blush. These Cheekers blushes have been around for so many years, but this is the shade, and I'm not speaking for all the Cheekers blushes, just this is the only shade I've tried, and I'm not a huge fan. It's the Natural Twinkle shade. I really like the shade in and of itself. Like, it's a really nice kind of cool toned mauve shade. It's got some sparkles in it. I wouldn't even say shimmer. I feel like it's actual like sparkle particles. So not a big fan of when blushes have that. I like a shimmery blush, like a glowy blush, but this is just like infused with all these little sparkles. And it's also just not very pigmented, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like it doesn't show up very well, even when I'm like really making sure my brush is like covered in powder from this. So when I do want a color like this, I do reach for it, and I do think it's pretty once I get it on there. I just feel like I really have to kind of build it up. And I don't always, I mean, I don't necessarily love when blushes are super pigmented either, but this one is just so sheer, and it's really just like a very light wash of color. So if you know someone who's like just getting into makeup, I feel like it is very beginner friendly in that way, but I don't know. I have other blushes I like better. I'm also just really not a fan of the way that this is set up. I just hate that it has this giant gap right here that used to have that like throwaway brush that doesn't even work, because it makes the pan just like so narrow and awkward, and I really just wish that the pan could have just filled this whole space, because it just got all this wasted space and a really small pan. So this is just my least favorite from them. It's still not a bad product, it's just my least favorite. The next brand that I own the most products from is Physicians Formula. I have 7 products from Physicians Formula. This is easy, the favorite. I'm wearing it today. Can you guess what it is? It's their Healthy Foundation. Say it with me now. I love this foundation. I don't need to say anything else. It's just so natural looking on the skin. I have the shade LN3, and I feel like it's just the perfect shade for me. I'm almost done with it. It's kind of just like the perfect hybrid between a BB cream and a foundation. I'd say it's got light to medium coverage. I actually get the most coverage when I apply it with my fingers. That's how I applied it today. And I'm quickly realizing that's actually my favorite way to apply this foundation, and I normally don't like using my fingers to apply foundation, but with this one, I think it just looks so pretty, and just it blends in really quickly that way too. So if you are a fan of like medium coverage, skin-like, semi-dewy kind of hydrating foundations, I think you would really like this one. That's all I need to say about it, because I talk about it all the time in like every video. I need to calm down. My least favorite product that I own from them is actually one of their Healthy Lip liquid lipsticks. It's really just this particular shade that I don't like. The other 2 shades I have of this I love. I think this is a really nice formula of liquid lipstick, similar to the Ofra. It doesn't completely dry down, so it's not totally transfer proof, but it still feels somewhat hydrating, so it's not going to be nearly as drying as other liquid lipsticks. But this shade in particular, this is the shade, I lost the sticker, but I think the shade is called Noir-ishing Plum. They're all like weird puns that are really hard to say. But it's a very deep, dark, vampy plum color, and it looks almost black on my lips. And it's not just that I don't love the shade on myself, it's that because it's so dark, the way that it wears off, it does kind of wear off like a traditional liquid lipstick does, where I end up with this like line of demarcation, and it sort of just wears off not great. Whereas the other shades, I have the shades All Natural Nude and Tulip Treatment, one of which is nude and the other which is like a bright red. Those actually wear off really nicely, even the bright color, but this one, I think because it's just such a dark color, it just doesn't wear off in a very flattering way. So that is why this is my least favorite product from the brand, but I do still recommend this line of liquid lipsticks. Maybe just stay away from like the very vampy colors. All right, the last brand I had to talk about, it's also a drugstore brand. So I think, yeah, all of these were drugstore brands today. I own 6 products from this brand, and my favorite one, this has been a favorite for so many years, but and Milani is really known for their blushes and their cheek products, but it's their powder blush in Romantic Rose. Such a gorgeous, neutral toned, matte, dusty rose blush. Such a classic color. I'm wearing it today, and I just love this blush. It is one of my all-time favorites. It's also, I think, my oldest blush in my collection currently, and I'm thinking I want to try to pan it eventually, but you get so much product in here, 17 grams. I think that's like 5 times what you normally get in a standard powder blush, so it's gonna take a commitment to use this up. I don't know if I ever actually will, but I do want to make progress on it because I've had it for quite a while, maybe even 4 years at this point, so I do want to start seeing some progress on it. But such a beautiful blush. I mean, I feel like this would be flattering on so many people, and I just love it. It makes me happy. That's my favorite. My least favorite from the brand, again, it's not a bad product. In fact, none of my least favorites were necessarily bad products. They're just, out of all of the things I own from them, it's the least favorite one. And keep in mind, I don't hate them enough to like declutter them, so keep that in mind too. My least favorite from Milani is their Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder. I have it in the shade Fair. I'm almost getting close to being done with this. I did already repress it and hit pan again, and I'm wearing it today. It's just that it's a very mattifying powder, and if I put on too much, it can kind of start to look a little bit cakey and really accentuate any texture on my skin. So that's kind of just an issue that I have with probably most face powders. I'm still kind of looking for one that looks a little bit more natural. I think I like the Physicians Formula Healthy Powder a little bit better. But this one would be great if you have oily skin, you really want like a mattifying powder. It's also nice because it does have some coverage to it, so you could definitely wear this as a powder foundation if you wanted to do that. So again, not a bad product, just it's my least favorite of all the Milani products that I own, and I do really like most Milani products that I've tried. Same with all these brands. In fact, all these brands, these are the brands in my collection that I own the most products from. And, you know, because of that, I think that kind of goes to show these are some of my favorite brands. So, you know, in general, I do like these brands a lot. So this was really fun. I had a lot of fun making this video. I wish that I could do like a 20 products from 20 brands, but I just don't even own that much makeup. But it was fun to kind of hone in on these brands. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and so I would love to see you again very soon, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.